Alright, here's the floor pans. I took someone had put some sheet metal covers, sheet metal pans over this, and I tore all that out and cleaned it up a little bit to see what I got. And this is what I got. It ain't pretty, but it ain't the end of the world either. Firewall is in good shape except for this corner right here. Got the same situation on the other side, that corner of the firewall. But you can see the seam where the floor pans are attached to the firewall, right along here. And this is pretty good looking metal up here. I have to look at the back side to make sure it's okay. But that's I'm gonna go ahead and take the seats out and the seal plates off, so I can start thinking about what I'm going to do here as far as replacing this or patching it, or how I'm going to do it exactly. There's not a whole lot left to patch, so I got to figure something out. But and these seal plates, most of the screws came out, but some of them didn't, and of course I couldn't get them out. Tried drilling them out, tried this fancy guaranteed to work speed out from well, wherever, but they didn't work at all. Removes any strip screws in seconds. Yeah, didn't work. So wound up having to punch them out, and that you know, of course, damaged them a little bit. But I think if I put them on the anvil part of my vise and tap them with a hammer, I think I can flatten them out enough to get those holes to reshape themselves enough. Hopefully I can use them again. If this was a restoration, that might not be acceptable. But you can buy these seal plates or kick plates on the internet, but they're very expensive. So I'd rather just try to salvage these. I think I can clean them up, put some solvent on them and polish them maybe, and who knows, maybe get them to look right, or at least good enough for this application. There again is a little bit of the original Goddess Gold paint job, which I think is pretty cool. And my beautiful seat covers. I don't know who did that. Pink and black stripes. Looks like a professional job, or looks like somebody knew what they were doing. I don't know if it's not just a cover, it's reupholstered, I think. But anyway, that's all coming out. Looks beautiful, huh? But anyway, so here's the seal plates. I did get them off on both sides. Like I said, I damaged the holes, but I think I can tap them out flat and reshape them, and maybe put some slightly larger pan head screws in to hold them down. Maybe that'll work. We'll see. And then there's this little cover here that covers up your wiring harness. That's in pretty rough condition, but looks like it could be duplicated fairly easy. And here's the rocker panel so far. This doesn't look all that bad, but now underneath we've got holes underneath, so it's going to need some kind of work. Probably wind up going ahead and replacing them. This piece of chrome, I noticed too, someone has pop riveted it on, which that's not correct, and it's pretty damaged. I think I've seen another video where a guy shows you how to take these stainless steel moldings off and straighten them out and buff them and work on them for a while and get them to shine again. So maybe that could happen, we'll see. But that's what's going on now. And again, the floor pans gone. This is the mount for the front pillar. That's a pretty crucial piece right there. That one's got to be replaced. Well, they both have to be replaced. That one's not quite as bad. And this is going to be a trick, because this is all kind of compound curves right here. It does this little snaky thing right here. So it's going to take some artwork. I don't know, that might be above my skill level, but we'll see what happens. The kick panel goes here and covers it all up, goes to that point right there and covers it all up, so it doesn't have to look pretty, but I'll try to make it look as pretty as I can. But we'll see what happens. Also notice this little wiring issue right here. Got some bare copper showing here, some bare wires showing here. I'm thinking, kind of hoping that maybe somebody added these. These are speaker wires maybe, because there's been a little bit of work done here. They do go up into the wiring harness, but this wiring harness has been taped up, so somebody's been messing around in there. I'll have to ohm them out, follow them, trace them, see what they go to. Hopefully they're just speaker wires and won't be much of an issue. So here's the bottom of the seat, and anybody who used to work on these older cars knows that right there, there's one on each side. Just hooks, doesn't hook, but really it's just pushed behind this right here, and that's what holds the seat in. You just give it a bump with your hand and pull up on it and it'll pop out. And then on the seat back, by pulling the armrest down, there were 2 bolts that held the back on there, and then there's this clip here, one on each side. That one's kind of covered up. That's it, right there. Those clips This piece right here pops down into them on both sides. There's where your two bolts were. And I'm not sure about this. I think these, I think they were clipped in there somehow. I'm not sure about that, but once you pull up on the bottom of the seat back and pop it out of those clips, then you would pull down on it and it would dislocate those brackets from the top. I'll have to research that and look at that a little bit better to make sure I'm telling you right. Alright, I'm going to take the front seat out. Two screws right here. Two screws up here. Screws in the back had this little fabric washer on, or little washer for fabric. The screws in the front did not. The screws in the back go in this, whatever this is. Yeah, this is like a leather or something, I guess. Leather or vinyl, probably vinyl. I don't know. This is an electric seat, four-way or two-way, I think. Alright. Driver's side's the same thing, except over here there's a control switch that controls the seats in the front right up here. So I'll have to be careful of that. So that's all. You can see the switch right here. Control seat adjustment. Just gonna lay that aside. I'll plug that and mess with that later. Surprised these aren't rusted in. Alright, so I unbolted the seat and I rocked it back so that we could take a look under here and see what we got going on. And here's another bracket that's got to be unbolted. Some ground wires going on. Got a motor back there. And someone else has disconnected that that piece of linkage right there, which goes up to this other motor. I think there's a worm gear inside there. And nothing on the driver's side. So I guess it all happens over here. There looks like, I don't know if you can see that, like torsion rod or something back there maybe. Probably involved in how the whole thing works. I don't know. I don't know too much about it. I'll have to look at it. Okay, so the piece of hardware, the connecting rod that, from the motor that had already been disconnected, the bracket on it has 3 bolts. 2 of them are in the back here, and I had to push the seat way forward to get those 2 out. There was some mechanics wire under there attached to those motors where they had tied them up to the bottom of the seat when they took the seat out before, probably when they did the reupholstery job. And also on the hold down brackets that the motors are connected to, the brackets that go on the floor, the ground wires to each of those motors is connected to those bolts. Got to remember to take those, disconnect those before you try to snatch the seat out, and also remember to put them back when you put the seat back, so you're not trying to troubleshoot a motor that's not working because it's not grounded properly. Also think it's really cool that things like this are still in place. This little piece right here, got them on both sides, and it's pretty cool because if that wasn't there, I would never know that that belonged there. This car, although I called it a junkyard car, it was clearly being saved and hasn't been butchered or gone through, and has not been robbed of hardly anything at all, other than I think the compressor for the air conditioner. Car's an awesome candidate for a complete restoration, in my opinion.